I'm Jensen Denoyes here for a new and exciting episode of Hero in You.
And I'm Maritsa Barros. Hero in You is an educational program that focuses on self-growth and self-empowerment. The purpose of our show is to discuss a topic connected to a comic book issue and see how it relates to our lives so that you can
find the hero in you.
That's right. Today's topic is on goal setting. Beyonce Knowles Carter once said, "As soon as I accomplish one goal, I just set a higher goal." Goal setting means thinking about your ideal future and motivating yourself to turn your vision into reality. By setting goals, you can measure your success and take pride in your accomplishments.
Even in sports, athletes have a common goal, the goal of winning. You only play a game with one goal, and that's winning. In that journey of winning, there are steps that you have to take. There are decisions that have to be made, and people around you have to help you achieve that goal.
Yes. Well, speaking of sports, Jensen had the honor of conducting an interview with the Boston Celtics point guard, Phil Pressey. He's been successful as a result of goal setting, not only throughout his career, but throughout his life. In this interview, Phil Pressey talks about goal setting, what it takes to set a goal, and why you need to set goals to be accomplished.
Well, let's hear what Phil Pressey has to say about goal setting and the impact goal setting can have in your community.
Yes.
I think my first goal was probably when I was very into school. I was in school in college, but when I was younger, my mom was on me nonstop, and my goal was to get straight A's. That didn't go too well, but I tried my hardest to get it. And it's not about reaching your goal, it's about trying your hardest. And I tried my hardest to get there. Even though I didn't get it, I just kept working. And I was thinking, hopefully I can get to the straight A mark, but you just gotta keep working. The steps that I had to take was, trying to make a varsity team. After trying to make a varsity team, trying to get into college, and then doing well in college, and then honestly trying to make it to the NBA. And I feel like I'm here now. So, recommendation I have, just keep pushing. You're gonna have some downs, you're gonna have some negativity, but just keep pushing. If you do that, you have great supporting cast that everybody have a lot of love into you and what you're doing, and that should set you through.
Wow. Well, how jealous am I? Please tell me, how was that to meet Phil Pressey and have that interview with him?
It was a really awesome experience. I had a great time interviewing him. Afterwards, I briefly spoke to him. One thing that was really amazing about Phil Pressey in his interview was the fact that he had a goal.
Yes.
But he was very specific with his goal. When he said that he wanted to be an NBA player, he was specific that he knew that he had to become a varsity player, then he had to go to college and then make it to the NBA.
Yes.
And by being specific, it's very important to know that you know what you want and you know how to get there. And it's not like a very vague goal or very vague desire. He had the goals, he had the roadmap, and he had the discipline to go get it.
Absolutely. I think Phil Pressey is an absolute inspiration to a lot of young youth, but specifically young kids.
Right, absolutely.
Young males, rather. He simply amazed me with that short interview, just based on the fact that he's always set high standards for himself.
Exactly.
Even as a young kid, he talks about setting the goal of getting straight A's and working really hard to do that.
Right.
And I think that's important. What excited me also was the fact that he talked about that level of satisfaction when it comes to figuring out, did you accomplish that goal? So he may not have received a straight A's on his report card, but he worked very hard. He did get good grades, but he worked extremely hard, and he was very proud of the work and time he put in to accomplishing that goal.
I absolutely agree. And one of the reasons why he was able to accomplish that goal, Maritsa, I think is because of visualization.
Yes.
He had the mind, he had the vision, the image of seeing himself getting these grades. And by having a visualization, he was able to continue his goal. And one thing about visualization, ladies and gentlemen, whenever you have a goal and you have that vision, it's very important to write it down, to make sure it's a daily routine, to make sure that the goal is met. And it's very important, or else it's just going to be another vague desire.
Right. If you can see it, you can believe it. Once you believe it, you can achieve it.
Indeed.
Right. one last point is just that he would not have made it, and I think this is another piece to add to what you've mentioned.
Right.
He would not have made it if it were not for the support of his family and just his support system in general. So once you have a sense of direction, you work really hard, and you have that support system, your vision will absolutely come to life.
Indeed. Yes, interesting to see an NBA player talking about his childhood. It shows that he didn't become a basketball player overnight.
Right.
He had to grow to become a basketball player. In the stage of a child growth, it's important to understand the foundation in growth and a foundation in unity. It is very important that children get to participate in daily activities to effectively grow.
Yes. Well, on that note, we recently interviewed clinician Morgan Thompson of the Home for Little Wanderers, and she shares the importance of goal setting for children with behavioral and educational challenges. Let's hear what she has to say about goal setting.
I think there's a variety of ways that we help each child set goals. You know, the child comes to us for very different reasons. So a lot of our goals is set based on the individual. And so we sort of take their interests and what they're interested in and what their overall goal is, you know, with their caregivers and families. And we start there. So every child's goal is different, but we measure progress small and with baby steps. A lot of the goals for our kids is reunification with their family. So what we do is we work intensely with the family and with the child on that reunification to work on sort of the attachment and communication within the family system. The ultimate goal for the children is that they end up in an environment where they're healthy and where they're safe. For every child that looks very different. Some it's in a home and some it's not. So our overall goal is for a child to be healthy and safe.
Well, that was a great segue, you know,
Yeah.
coming from the event where Phil Pressey was a guest speaker,
Right.
To actually speaking to Morgan Thompson herself. Please tell me how that interview went.
It was a really awesome interview with Morgan Thompson representing Home for Little Wanderers.
Mm-hmm.
When I interviewed her, it was a really inspiring moment because when I interviewed her, I felt like the sense of fire.
Yeah.
And it just shows you that whenever you have a goal, think big, think huge. She was explaining to me about the goals that she had for each individual, for each child.
Yeah.
And the importance of communication, reunification with their family. And it just shows you that whenever you have a goal, think big. See the big picture, because you never know who you'll inspire, who you'll influence. Don't just have a wimpy goal, but it just shows you that Morgan Thompson just explains that the importance of setting a goal to make sure these children are safe and healthy for their future. That's amazing.
I mean, clearly there's a lot of passion behind the work that Morgan Thompson does. So passion definitely will drive your goals. Being passionate about why you're doing a particular thing will help get you through obstacles or tough times. I think it's really important to not only identify your direction, but identify the reason why you're committing to the goal that you've set. Because challenges and obstacles are inevitable, and it may take more than yourself to actually accomplish these goals, and that's what Morgan helps us think about when we talk about goal setting. We're thinking beyond just the individual. So she's working with families.
Exactly.
And their common goal is to make sure, as you said, the child is safe and healthy. But you have to be able to break down the communication. So I really like how Morgan is kind of taking us to that next level of steps along the way when you talk about goal setting. The breakdown in communication, whether it's with yourself, writing down your goals, or with a group, is important because everyone has to be clear about their role in the particular goal in order to accomplish it. So breakdown of communication and also taking us beyond a personal level of goal setting and thinking about it in an organizational or professional setting.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now that we've talked about how goal setting from childhood to adulthood is vital, let's explore what steps it takes to achieve these goals you set.
Yes. We had the pleasure of conducting an interview with the film students of Dartmouth High School. They explained that creating a film always starts with an idea. They had to accomplish a goal, and that was to complete a final project. Let's hear how they achieved their goals.
To set a goal, in my opinion, is to plan ahead and like know what you want to do with your project or what you want to do in the class, so you can have a successful project and have an accomplishment in the class.
If you know you've accomplished a goal, you'd be pleased with whatever it is. Like, so, for example, say you're like a baseball player and your goal is to hit a certain amount of home runs. You hit that certain amount and you're happy and you're kind of proud of yourself that you reached that goal. And then, I mean, people around you will be pretty pleased about your work also.
Challenges are definitely like coming up with a goal and then like going through with it. You know, we did a music video and we had to like work around schedules, and some people didn't show up, and so it was like very hard to go around. So definitely like coming up with a goal and then actually doing your goal, like planning it out and like doing it all.
The benefits of setting goals are having the satisfaction and just the good feeling, I guess, of completing the goal and making it into something great.
That was a really awesome interview with the Dartmouth High School students. Awesome work, Joshua, molding with your students, your film students. It was really amazing.
Yes, thank you.
It was really fascinating to see high school students come together working on a project and brainstorming and coming up with ideas and then manifesting that goal. And one thing that caught my attention was the interview with Ellie when she said that know what you want.
Yes.
And it just shows you whenever you have a goal, you have to make sure that goal is aligned with you.
Yes.
Making sure that this is a goal that you want, not anyone else, but you want. And it was just a great example to see that these students with their skills with filming, with editing, and just producing, and they knew that this is what they want, and they come together and they just have some level of cohesiveness just for that one common goal.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always fun to hear the interviews with the high school students. Every episode we feature a different high school and we get a lot of different personalities.
Exactly.
But I thought what was interesting is that these students picked up on a lot of the things that our previous interviews have already revealed, right? That you have to have a sense of direction.
Exactly.
And when you think about film and film studies, it is a little easier because you have to have an idea, you have to have a theme, a show or a production that you'd like to do. So it's the getting the direction may be easier, but the steps along the way, working together, you know, as a team, they can better accomplish those goals. But one of the students brought back our point from Phil Pressey about
Aiden.
that feeling. Aiden, yes,
Yeah,
talked
yeah.
about that feeling of satisfaction.
Exactly.
So again, I keep stressing that because I feel that when you set a goal, if you don't accomplish it as you had first envisioned, you may feel defeated, you may feel that you failed. But what you realize that any failure is really not a failure, it really is a learning opportunity. You then feel more confident about the work you've already put in.
Exactly.
Because you know what you put in is what you get out. We've heard that all of our lives growing up, and it's really true.
I
You
agree.
work hard and you stay committed, you will be satisfied with your accomplishment even if you haven't quite gotten to that goal, because it's a constant, you know, rotating journey. Exactly.
It's interesting to hear the different perspectives and approaches to goal setting in our lives. Most recently, we hosted a roundtable discussion at Panera Bread.
Yes.
We had a great speaker, Partha Patel, a surgeon in residency. He talks about healthcare industry, what it's like when a patient comes in with trauma, and how goal setting is important in all aspects of life.
Yes.
If you're missing these discussions, you're missing a lot. Let's play the clip and check it out.
Yes.
I think it's important to set goals because you need to know what you're aiming for. You know, like if you know where you want to reach, then you can create methods as to how to reach that place. But if you have no idea where you're going, then you're just, you know, blowing in the wind and you don't have a direction.
And I think if you're a person who does dream crazy and big like a Beyonce, you're going to set goals and you're going to absolutely accomplish them because you're driven, you're committed. So in order for her to grow as a person, personally and professionally, she has to keep raising that bar for herself so she can challenge herself and get that feeling of fear and uncertainty, because at that moment you know that you are growing as an individual.
I think that's very important in life, to face your fears, because that's what holds you down. basically. So I personally make it a point to face my fears. Like I was scared of water, I started swimming. And then I was scared of heights, so I've gone up to skydiving now.
Wow.
From your own experience, do you have an example of taking initiative and then setting goals? Like you had to be proactive and then plan afterwards?
So I'm a surgeon, so I think the most important thing in any kind of surgery is most people know how to do the procedure. You know, the problem is setting it up. So if you don't set yourself for success, if you don't plan, like let's say I'm going to do a procedure, if I don't have the right instruments, if I don't have the right team, if I haven't gone through the procedure in my head, you know, I'm not setting myself for success. So in the middle of the procedure, I might look for something and it's not there. So I think that was the first example, was like you're in action and you set goals afterwards, right? Like, and then the second example is like where you plan ahead so that you're successful. So you set yourself up for success.
Yeah, goal setting is really important in the film industry in particular, because like if you want to do a film, you have to create schedules. Like it's a lot of work.
For like, you know, like patient management, how long do you want them to stay in the hospital for? Their pain management is a goal. You know, managing the diet, everything is a goal. So entire patient care is broken down into goals that you achieve, and then the patient's ready to leave the hospital. So, you know, it's very important in the field. And then, like, in general, like in the entire healthcare system, like you have goals regarding cost containment and all that stuff. So there are goals everywhere.
Whenever you have a goal or ambition, it's very important to research, ask questions, go online, get information. If you're into the filming industry, learn more about the industry. If you're in the medical field, learn more about the medical field. There's so many resources.
It doesn't always have to be a goal that's given to you at school or that has to be hard and fast. It could be something that's, you know, interests you, that's fun for you, that taps into your passion, so it doesn't feel like work, and it actually feels like something that you enjoy.
So I had that plan to be happy. Yeah, because what I've realized over the years is that, you know, reaching a goal is important, being successful is important, but then if you don't enjoy the process, at the end of the day you get something and you're like, you know, I did all this, but what's the point of it? So I think the most important thing is to not get stressed out.
I believe that with goal setting, there should be some level of discipline and some level of structure.
If you have a method of doing things, no matter how stressed you are, if you have discipline and if you have a method of working, your brain keeps on doing it, no matter how stressed you are, and which is extremely important, especially when you're without sleep or when everything else seems to be falling around you. So I think discipline is like gives you that strength to keep on going, and it gives you belief in yourself. If you have self-discipline, you know that you can do it. You can get through a lot of things, and that's extremely important as well. So.
Oh, snap, tweet.
That is
Can't
the
snap.
first snap for that one.
Doesn't work.
That was great.
Oh yeah, we had an awesome time. It was great. Rachel was there. We had a great time with Rachel.
Always a pleasure. Don't forget, every episode you have an opportunity to share your perspective with us. Keep an eye out on our Facebook page for the next opportunity to share your thoughts at our roundtable discussion.
One thing that was really awesome was Parthel. He just explains the importance of goal setting in the medical field in healthcare. And he was just talking about the certain things, like certain important things, like making sure the patient has a good diet, making sure the patient is taking good medications.
Right.
But one thing that I thought that was really appealing was the fact that he mentioned that whenever you set a goal, the most important thing is to be happy. And it just shows you that whenever you're setting a goal, your feelings is very important. And also, it's just a good example of making sure that your feelings and your top values are connected and they're aligned. And I thought that was a really fascinating experience that he shared to us, how he skydives.
Yeah.
And just, but the fact of being happy, that it gravitates towards others and it makes you continue a journey of setting your goals.
Absolutely. I thought that was a unique comment also, and I had my Oprah moment
yeah.
with him on that.
I remember.
Happiness is the base of everything that we're going to
Exactly.
grow from. So it's not necessarily just being happy, but knowing that you are responsible for creating your own happiness. And when you do that, you will be able to move forward with your goals. But he also brought us back to the quote that we mentioned in the beginning from Beyonce about setting higher goals once you accomplish another goal. It's important for you to challenge yourself, for if you are not feeling challenged, you are not taking yourself out of your comfort zone, change cannot happen, growth will not happen.
Indeed.
So he made that point that you have to set a goal that's realistic, not a goal that's just achievable.
Right.
Right? It's something that will challenge you. He also talked about setting a direction for your goal. So once you know what's going on, again, he brings a different perspective coming from the medical world. We heard a little bit again with Rachel in regards to the films.
Right.
And he really just focuses on being sure that you're prepared. So as much as you're setting goals for what you'd like to accomplish, there are things for us to do along the way. When we talk about homework, it doesn't end in high school, it doesn't end in college.
Oh, not at all. No,
right?
no.
That homework will happen in order for you to be most successful. You need to be prepared. And sometimes in life, we're being prepared for certain things that we ourselves cannot see in the future.
Exactly.
But knowing that you have tools to pull from will certainly kind of get you past certain obstacles when you face them, because you will face them as you search and seek your goals.
Overall, we learned the importance of goal setting. The final example this program wants to present is coming from comic book issue number 30 of Wonder Woman. Again, Beyonce has said, "As soon as I accomplished one thing, I just set a higher goal." This quote relates to the story of Wonder Woman. In this issue, Wonder Woman must track her good friend Zola and her infant son and protect them from the evildoers of Olympus. As Wonder Woman's journey unravels, however, she finds she is actually evolving as a person and even evolving her sisters back in the Paradise Island by asking them to take care of the first male species. She asks the Amazons to make sure the child is safe and healthy. Wonder Woman asks them to raise him as a man among them. Although her initial goal was to save the life of her good friend, a greater goal was realized the moment she held the baby up to the crowd of female Amazons and pleaded for them to take care of him. She asked the women not to judge Zeke for the boy he was, but love him for the person he was to become. If it wasn't for Wonder Woman setting the goal to track Zola in the first place and sticking to that goal despite war with her enemies from Olympus, she wouldn't have met Zeke and she wouldn't have won the Amazons' acceptance of the boy. Wonder Woman also would not have been able to assert herself to be the new queen of Paradise Island. As you can see, goal setting comes in every aspect of your life. The ability to recognize a plan and set goals is necessary to make sure it's a reality. Now that's how you find the hero in you. If you want to share how you're setting your goals in your life, please follow us on Twitter at HeroInYou, and also check out our website, www.heroinyou.com. And don't forget to like us on our new Facebook page, www.facebook.com/theheroinyou.
I'm Maritsa Barros.
And I'm Jensen Denoyes, here for a new and exciting episode of Hero in You. And yes, you can find the hero in you.